welcome to Tropicana Field. The postseason getting rolling here in St. Pete as we welcome you to the 2021 American League Divisional Series presented by Good Sam. It's the Boston Red Sox, winners of the wild card game over the Yankees on Tuesday, and the champions of the East, the defending champions of the American League, the Tampa Bay Rays. Hope you're having a great day. We welcome you inside. Joe Davis with the Hall of Famer John Smoltz. Well, the Rays are no longer a Cinderella. This is no longer a surprise. A third consecutive postseason trip, and they're the defending champs. They follow that by winning 100 games in the top seed in the American League.
Pretty amazing. It feels like every year you got to reintroduce the Rays, but all they do is win. So it's no longer, like you said, Cinderella, and they're really good offensively. Some of the numbers don't make sense, but these do. They score a lot of runs. You see what they've done in run prevention. And, of course, look, the Rays plug in place. They have a roster that's totally different in their pitching staff than last year. It's hard to believe, but they won 100 with brand new pitchers.
And you touched on it a little bit. They've always prevented runs. One of the things that's different about this group is they're scoring runs as well. And they've got a couple of the most exciting offensive players in the league at the top of that order.
They really do. When you think about two young dynamic players, one already had an impact last year in the playoffs, so it's hard to believe he's going to win Rookie of the Year, having the success he did last year. But the #1 ranked prospect in all of baseball, Wander Franco, he's must-see TV. And for the Rays, they're in great hands athletically. They're in great hands in the future.
There actually, John, is a Cinderella in the building here. There is a surprise in the building. It just happens to be the Boston Red Sox, finishing dead last in the division last year. Nobody gave them a shot coming into this season. They spent a lot of the year in first place, and with a good finish, here they are again.
You're right about that. Predictions at the beginning of the year, no one had Boston in the playoffs. But Alex Cora has done a great job coming back, leading this team to a surprising playoff, and who knows, maybe a playoff run. They have a lot of experience in their offense, but Alex Cora with a hot bullpen down the stretch got him into this playoffs. You see what they've done offensively, very consistent, maybe one of the best in all of baseball, but I've got to give it to Alex Cora because I did not see this happening. If they're going to win, they're going to have to take advantage early in the game of the young starting pitching that the Rays are going to throw them.
Yeah, it's something. It is no longer the group they had last season as far as the starting pitchers go. 3 rookies ready to start the first 3 games of this series for Tampa Bay. It is the Boston Red Sox after winning the wild card game at Fenway Park. An electric environment on Tuesday as they took down the Yankees. Now they face the division champs, the reigning American League champs, the Tampa Bay Rays. And we've got first pitch coming up on FS1. Business in Houston to open the day. Now we turn our attention to Florida and the ALDS between Tampa Bay and Boston. Joe Davis, John Smoltz, and on the field today, Ken Rosenthal.
Joe, for the Red Sox, J.D. Martinez is on the roster even with his injured left ankle. Not in the lineup tonight, but is available as a pinch hitter. Not on the roster, all-star closer Matt Barnes. Struggled in August, hasn't pitched much since coming off the COVID IL, and the Red Sox want to carry 3 left-handed relievers. On the other side, you might remember the Rays' postseason rotation from a year ago. Tyler Glasnow, Blake Snell, Charlie Morton. This time around, they're looking to do something unprecedented in Major League history. Open a postseason series with 3 rookie starters. Those starters, Shane McClanahan, Shane Baz, and Drew Rasmussen, have combined for just 38 Major League starts. McClanahan, the guy taking them out, he's got 25 of them. Guess that makes him the crusty veteran. Joe?
Yeah, Kenny, and the other weird thing with Shane McClanahan is that he's the first pitcher ever to make his debut in the postseason. That was in relief last year. Pitched in 4 games, didn't go particularly well, but he was able to check that box, pitching in those huge games. This season, John, he didn't even make the opening day roster, so he gets caught up in late April. He's gotten better and better to the point where I know that they didn't announce it right away, but there was no question who was taking the ball game 1.
Yeah, this is going to be the most intriguing series when you think about the 3 young pitchers and how they control the instant access to adrenaline. Nothing like the regular season. You mentioned his debut, and since his debut, he's added 2 quality pitches to give him 4-pitch mix. He can throw it up to 97 miles an hour, great movement, good curveball, slider, changeup. Will he have the touch early? I know talking to him, he's a cool customer here from University of South Florida. He's got all the things you want to be an opening day starter. in the playoffs. But to be game one starter in a best-of-5, the most important game in a best-of-5, I can't wait to see how he handles it and how the manager, how much longer he stays with him.
And how about the lineup, John, that'll face off with here in game one? You talked about it off at the top, but this is a very good offensive group. Kike Hernandez in his first season with the Red Sox lead things off in center field. Kyle Schwarber, what a pickup he's been with Bogarts and Devers, the All-Stars, hitting 3 and 4. It's Renfroe, the former Ray, hitting 5th. Alex Verdugo's in left. Bobby Dahlbeck has been one of the top hitters in the league the last couple of months. Vasquez back in there. It was Plawecki that did the catching for the wild card game, but it is Vasquez. And then Christian Arroyo, another former Ray, out of the 9 spot. That lineup sponsored by Good Sam.
Strikes are going to be the key for both pitchers tonight. I always feel like the team that wins the wild card game comes in with a little bit of a momentum, and the team that has been waiting to play them has been sitting. So the first 3 innings are going to be huge. And the thing to look for tonight out of the young left-hander is, can he throw enough strikes with his fastball? If he does, he's going to be in good shape.
Boston from last place last year to the postseason. Tampa Bay, an American League best, franchise record 100 wins. And off we go with a fastball inside, ball 1 on Kike Hernandez, who has been a very valuable component of that turnaround for the Red Sox in his first season here. Brings in so much postseason experience. Going to 3 World Series with the Dodgers. On a 1-0 pitch, Hernandez watches a strike, and it's 1-1.
That's that late life 98. To just put it in perspective, Kenny talked about all the lack of starts. I feel like I pitched over 2/3 of my career in the postseason. And my first postseason start was after 111 starts, which is incredible for the impact that these 3 have made on a starting rotation in the second half that really is completely different for the Rays.
One ball, 2 strikes on Kike Hernandez, leading things off for the Red Sox. McClanahan rocks and fires and starts his night with a strikeout.
Well, over 50% of his strikeouts are going to come with the breaking ball. He has tremendous spin on that breaking ball. That's the curveball. You're going to see a slider that's tighter and a changeup that fades. So early on, the first strikeout, I always said the first out in the postseason game is awfully nice.
As a reminder, the Fox Deportes Spanish broadcast of this game is available on FS2 tonight. So strikeout from McClanahan of Kike Hernandez, and now it's Kyle Schwarber. And a fastball is by him at 98, strike 1.
Well, in the previous matchups, Kyle Schwarber really struggled with that slider. And he started him off with a fastball, which is a good sign, because you go through and you watch your video and you know, okay, this guy's going to attack me with breaking balls. But he got ahead with the fastball to start.
There's a fastball that Schwarber took deep against Garrett Cole the other night. Here he bounces one into short right field and has a base hit. First base runner of the game for the Red Sox.
Well, just a routine ground ball, but it's not routine when the shift was so pulled against the left-handed hitter Schwarber. And tremendous effort, but an easy base hit.
So Schwarber is on, and Bogarts is up. And Bogarts, who struggled down the stretch of the regular season, boy, showed up in the wild card game, didn't he? Hitting the 2-run home run. And then even bigger than that, he says, and hard to disagree with him, was the assist to home, cutting down Aaron Judge when it was still tight in the 6th inning of that game.
Yeah, that was a huge play when you think about the momentum of where the Red Sox were in that game, and that just kind of sucked the life out of the Yankees, any chance of coming back.
Longest tenured Boston player in his 9th season.
Well, here's the thing about the Red Sox. They don't mind hitting behind an account. That's why they're one of the best offenses. They don't mind hitting with 2 strikes. At some point, Bogarts is going to have to get a huge hit on a first pitch. He takes a lot of first pitches, so you can see the freedom of a pitcher getting strike 1. But now here's where it gets tough, trying to put him away. Up higher than high with a fastball, but he's one of the best high fastball hitters on their team.
There goes Schwarber on an 0-2, a swing and a miss and a stolen base, but a second strikeout of this opening inning for Shane McClanahan. Schwarber into second, and a runner in scoring position with 2 gone for Devers.
I think that's a little bit of no one's paying attention to me and no one thinks I'm going. And the 2-strike tight slider down and in. Now Devers has been making a living on off-speed pitches and getting a little bit better against fastballs. Went through the middle part, getting beat on fastballs. And I'm sure he's taken a little bit of that pride to say, okay, I can't let the rest of the league throw 60% fastballs against me.
I think it's about time, John, that we start talking about this guy on the short list of the best hitters in baseball.
Yeah, he certainly has developed into that, hasn't he?
He fouls this one off. 1 ball, 1 strike. He leads the majors in extra base hits over the last 3 years. 38 home runs this year, and those aren't empty. They come in big spots. Like the final day of the regular season, Boston had to have a win. He hit 2 home runs, and really for the final 2 weeks carried this offense.
He really has, and he's one of those routines where he's talking to himself, breathing. He's learned a lot through J.D. Martinez's influence on this club. And that's just been a credit to what J.D. has meant. Even though he's not in the lineup right now, he's had an influence. We talked to Alex early before the game, and he goes, all right, I know you're not playing. Be the best assistant hitting coach you can. He goes, no, I'll be the hitting coach.
Tim Hires can be my assistant, okay? Okay. Out of its second, 2 gone, and a 2-1. Devers lifts it foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes. So Shane McClanahan, a couple of strikeouts in this first inning. Trying to pitch around a little bit of traffic. Has 2 strikes on Devers.
He's looked really good. I mean, he is. You know, the first inning adrenaline has gotten to him, but his approach to it has not. He just said, I'm going to approach it like another game. Why not? Easy to say, hard to do.
24-year-old rookie, first postseason start, delivers and strikes him out. 100 by Devers. Let's take a look at the lineup for game 1. Rosarena leads it off, and then the boy wonder, Wander Franco. Brandon Lau bats third. Cruz, Diaz, and Luplo drawn to start with a left-hander with a right-handed bat that crushes lefties. Margot, Zunino, and Kiermaier round things out. Brought to you by Good Sam. And now Eduardo Rodriguez, who called this a very special night for him after he missed all of last year with a heart condition stemming from a bout with COVID-19. He was bedridden for much of the summer. He didn't know when, he didn't know if he'd pitch again. But after struggling in the first half, got it going in the second half. Eovaldi starts the wild card game. It's Rodriguez here for game 1.
Yeah, Rodriguez, a different style left-hander. He's going to be smooth, late life on his fastball, and separation to change up with a good tight cutter / slider that he'll throw to both sides of the plate. But throwing strikes going to be the key against this vaunted lineup that loves to hit homers and score runs and used to strike out a lot. But the good trend that they've had lately is they're cutting down on their strikeouts. Even though they rank high, 3rd most in baseball, that was really the first third of the season where those strikeouts came into play.
1 ball, 1 strike on Randy Arozarena, who takes inside ball 2. Yeah, early on it was easy to look and say, look, they're all or nothing. It's home runs and it's strikeouts. And the overall stats still kind of say that. But those strikeouts have gone down and down and down to the point where this is far from a one-dimensional offense as it goes into October. On a 2-1 pitch, Arozarena watches a change miss, ball 3, and here's a perfect example of a guy who at times can be free swinging, taking a couple borderline pitches.
Yeah, and there's what you're talking about, 28, 25 down to 22, and that's the reason why a lot of fans and people in this organization think they can make another deep run because their offense is better than it was last year.
Arozarena leading off and taking ball 4, leadoff walk. Arozarena's on, and Franco's coming up as we look at the player resume, sponsored by Indeed. 20 years old, the next big thing, right? That doesn't always pan out. In first couple weeks, looked like, okay, this could take a while for him to get going. But once he got going, he didn't stop. 43-game on-base streak, tied for the longest in big league history by a player of his age, tied with the Hall of Famer Frank Robinson, and he is just beyond his years in the way he conducts at-bats.
It really is amazing when you live up to the high expectation of being the #1 ranked player in baseball. You're right about his early start. He struggled, he looked overmatched, and then he's made the necessary adjustments. And great players make adjustments early in their career. And he's certainly been able to do that and transform this organization in a way where they traded one of their most popular players to the Milwaukee Brewers.
That's Willie Adames, shortstop, and wound up being a good trade for both sides. Adames has done big things for Milwaukee. Open the door for Franco. He takes the ball, and it's 1-1.
Two things this year he's really crushed. He's crushed sliders against left-handers and sinkers. So anything that's coming down and staying down, he has absolutely crushed. The cutter in probably give him a little bit of problems, but he has been really good the last 37 or so or 40 plate appearances, not striking out much at all.
Cracks a base hit into center field. Over to cut it off Hernandez. Franco thinking 2 out of the box. A juggle from Hernandez will send Arozarena home. Rays 1, Red Sox nothing, just like that. And it's ruled an RBI double in Wander Franco's first postseason at bat.
Well, there's the low pitch that he loves, and his little cutoff was pretty good, and then the bobbles, all it took. Arozarena can fly. And much like we talked about that relay and cut down of the New York Yankees, you felt like this could have been the same situation, but you see the bobble, and that just put the Rays in motion and got this crowd going early.
Runner at second. Brandon Lau. He goes after the first pitch. Bangs a line that's right at Renfroe. And his old teammate makes the catch. One gone. It doesn't take long for Arozarena and Franco, the young guys at the top of the lineup, to get Tampa Bay on the board against Rodriguez, who the last time he pitched in this ballpark had one of his best outings of the year. Fired 6 shutout innings against the Rays in early September. And now faces the veteran Nelson Cruz.
This is one of the reasons why the strikeouts have gone down. The overall lineup is strong. Nelson Cruz coming over from Minnesota. I mean, this guy's a beast. He's a playoff beast. He knows how to hit. Power numbers every year. Perfect addition for the Rays.
17 postseason home runs for Nelson Cruz, who is 41 years old. He has not performed the way that he did for the Twins since coming over, but they've loved his leadership, his presence with some of the young guys, and they figured that calendar flicks to October, that good chance Nelson Cruz does what he's always done this time of year.
Well, since 2019, he has crushed left-handed pitchers. And that changeup right there, again, is going to be the key for Rodriguez to have success, to get him off the fastball, because that's what Nelson Cruz and the Rays, they love hitting fastball, especially up, and this changeup is going to be huge because it looks like a fastball coming out of his hands. And the difference now than the difference before, the changeup has better break and speed.
It's another one there. It got to the point where it was like a bad two-seam, right? It was like 88, 89, and was just getting hammered early on.
Yeah, too close to the fastball, so it wasn't fooling the hitters, and it didn't have the late life that it's had now. And so he changed the grip a little bit, and he's certainly taken off the miles per hour that has a separation. Every pitcher needs a separation between their fastball and their next best pitch. This guy's one of the best top of the zone hitters. Balls up and out of the zone, he will crush. Down, you can get him out. Down and away is kind of the kryptonite for Nelly Cruz, but good luck trying to make 3 pitches down there.
So the target is set, and he tries to come back with a fastball, lofted into left center field for Alex Verdugo, and the second out. There goes Franco. He'll take third. Two gone in this first inning. Here's Yandy Diaz. has owned Eduardo Rodriguez in their previous meeting, 7 for 17.
And one of the reasons is he's not able to get the fastball inside enough to make a difference, because Yandy wants that ball out over the plate, strong, looking to mash, but you've got to be able to make him inside conscious.
Franco at third, 2 gone. Rodriguez comes home, and Diaz watches strike one. Diaz good against left-handed pitching. One of those pieces that not going to play every day, but very specific purpose. They're facing a lefty here in Rodriguez. A chance to add on in this first inning. 30-year-old in his 5th big league season. On an 0-1, got in on him, rolled to third, won't be an easy play. Devers on the move, diving play, he's safe. And it's 2-0 Tampa Bay as Diaz beats it out.
You mentioned it, low, slow roller, and the dive into first sometimes can mess with an umpire, but he gets there pretty quickly because the umpires always listen for the thud thud. But you can see he probably would have made it just as easily standing up. But that always looks better.
Yeah.
If a runner's giving it all out. I don't think you get there faster, but it looks better.
So does Yandy Diaz, who dropped 20 pounds this offseason, cut out sweets, cut out bread.
Sweets?
I know, right? What's the point in living? Tell you what, infield singles are the point in living. Infield RBI singles, and it's 2-0 Rays as Jordan Luplow comes up. And if you're looking for the stereotypical Rays move in this lineup, it is Jordan Luplow starting, who they acquired at the deadline from Cleveland. He had never in his life played first base, but they said, all right, you crush lefties. We need a little bit of help against lefties. We'll find a place for you to play. What do you think about giving first a try? And so for the first time, he's playing there. They're hoping that it pays off, that he can do what he's done throughout his career against lefties, where statistically, John, against left-handed pitching, Jordan Luplow has been the equivalent of Rafael Devers.
Yeah, leave it to the Rays to find ways to, I don't know, counteract everything that's going on that could work against them. The only thing that would be a struggle would be some of the finite plays you got to make at first with relays and all the different requirements that a first baseman naturally knows. They're hoping there isn't that many of those double cut relays or where you got to be on a foul pop up down the right field line. They're just hoping that offensively he makes up for it.
Yeah, just trying to find the edge on the margins, right? You got a couple options at first base who don't hit left-handers as well. Maybe they're a little bit better defensively, but they think the upside of this move outweighs the upside of playing somebody who's played first more. That's foul. Let's check in with Ken.
Well, Joe, Jordan Luplow is a guy that had not played the infield since 2015 in A-ball with the Pirates. And actually, since joining the Rays, he has played 4 different positions for the first time. Not just first, but second, third, and pitcher.
Mm-hmm. Thought we were going to go down that who's on first, what's on second.
Believe it or not, Luplow is playing first for these Rays. He's behind 1 and 2. Rodriguez deals and he misses down and away. Count evens up. Well, Rodriguez draws the start. Nick Pivetta is available out of the bullpen tonight. And Alex Cora, throughout his managerial career, has been very quick to make moves, very quick to get his starters involved in relief roles in October. .20 pitch first inning for Rodriguez. His 21st is a 2-2. It's fouled off.
Well, when he's going good, it looks like he's barely throwing and playing catch with the catcher. And no mention he was out all last year and what this moment must mean to him. But I tell you, there's one thing that is that I'm not envy of, and it's the potential he possesses, and it's the faith everyone else has in him to connect the dots, to become the pitcher everyone thinks on their staff he could be. He's having to live up to so much that he's got to be connected with himself and get comfortable first. And what I mean by that is when everyone else tells you what you can and should be doing, it's hard if you're trying to get there, but you don't know how to get there yet, or you're not confident in the stuff that everyone thinks is way better. I've heard Chris Sale. I've heard Nathan Eovaldi. I've heard all their pitchers talk about what he possesses. But that's all jumbled up right now because the inconsistencies are probably driving him crazy, trying to figure out how they can get to a Chris Sale level, a Nathan Eovaldi level.
8th pitch to Jordan Luplow is pulled left side. Devers has it, and that's the inning. The Rays this season 41-12 when they score in the first inning, and it's the young fellas at the top of the lineup that waste no time getting them on the board. 2-0 Tampa Bay. Rosarena walks. Franco doubles him in. Just like that, 2-0 Tampa Bay as Diaz legs out an infield hit. And an early lead for Shane McClanahan to work with.
Hunter loves the first pitch.
That Hunter is Hunter Renfroe. Rays fans know from last season, although they may not recognize this version of Hunter Renfroe, who last year had the worst year of his career, well below 200. Didn't hit for the kind of power that he did in San Diego, and so they cut him loose. Red Sox picked him up, and he's had a career year.
He sure has. He's crushed fastballs off of left-handers for the most part. Outs are in. He loves the ball out over the plate, and you just can't help but think, okay, is it the influence of a JD Martinez? Everyone who seems to come over here gets kind of influenced through that great hitter and has a better year. And you mentioned all the strikeouts. Boy, has he cut him down and had a great year for the Red Sox.
He rips this ball towards the left field corner, off the wall. Rosarena plays the ricochet and holds him to a long single. The Rays, one of the best defensive teams in the league, and Rosarena saves a base right there.
Off-speed pitch.
So leadoff single for Renfroe. Now Alex Verdugo. Goes out to the first pitch and fouls it off. Now Verdugo very quickly done a nice job endearing himself to Red Sox fans, and not an easy thing to do considering who he was part of the deal for. He was the key piece coming over from Mookie Betts, and I know at this point 2 years have passed. Why he's still talking about it, but that's always going to be right up there and at the top of his resume.
Oh, absolutely, and he has really done a remarkable job in that area.
Played his first postseason game on Tuesday and drove in 3. 2 for 4 in that game against New York. Red Sox winning it behind Nate Eovaldi, who was fantastic, and then the bullpen piecing things together. Now, game 1 of the division series in St. Pete. McClanahan deals, and Verdugo pulls it sharply off Lau into short center field, and everybody's safe. So the defense took away a base with the Rosarena's throw, now giving him a base with an error on Brandon Lau.
This ball was absolutely smoked, and he tries to backhand it. Top spin didn't allow him to get not only in front of it, but get the short hop. And the Red Sox trying to get back into this real quick after surrendering a couple runs in the bottom of the first.
2-0 game, 2 on for Bobby Dahlbeck, who takes ball 1. And how about this guy over the final couple months who suddenly became the second coming of Babe Ruth? This is a guy who really struggled really through the end of July, beginning of August, but has put it all together these last couple months. One of the top hitters in the AL.
Yeah, he has been fantastic, especially in the second half when they were talking about getting another first baseman. And, you know, it's not as simple as always just saying a hitter gets his foot down and the timing's better, but it can be that simple because your head sees pitches better. You're more selective. You're not swinging outside the zone because you're not in a rush. And it's no different than the mechanics of a pitcher. And I really thought he had a great chance of winning Rookie of the Year this year based on what he did last year. And he's in timing. His timing is great right now.
Down.
He had 8 home runs in 23 games, including the rookie record for the Red Sox. Homered in 5 games in a row during that call-up, but then struggled mightily early on. Like Alex Cora said earlier today, he kind of learned the hard way that you've got to adjust. It's not just going to be one of those things where you say you'll figure it out. No, changes need to be made. And like we talked about, making the leg kick a little bit smaller, being more balanced. What's come with that is he's been much more selective, seeing the ball better. And has helped this lineup gain some serious length. Single and an error, and now 2-2 on Dahlbeck, who hits it up the middle. Lau knocks this one down, feeds second for 1, on to first, a double play. All kinds of things to write about the defense in this half inning. Some good, some bad. 4-6-3 there. But the third goes Renfroe, 2 out.
Well, the difference here, he's able to get in front of this bullet. This was hit extremely hard. One hop off his chest. Gives him enough time to knock it down. Nobody panics and throws and gets a huge double play. You know, for a young pitcher, I don't care how good your stuff is, when you can get double plays, 2 outs in the price for the price of 1, that goes a long way, especially when your team gave you 2 runs in the bottom half. It's all about that heartbeat and the stress level. If it goes down, you're in good shape.
Christian Vasquez floats the first one into shallow center field where Kevin Kiermaier waits. And despite the first 2 reaching for the Red Sox, McClanahan gets out of it unscathed. Two runs in the first inning for Tampa Bay. Bottom 2, 2-0. Joe Davis, John Smoltz, Ken Rosenthal back at the Trop as Manuel Margot leads off and takes ball 1 from Eduardo Rodriguez. So Margot getting the start today in right field. Very good defensively and was very good at the plate in the postseason last year. 5 home runs his first season with Tampa Bay. They got him from San Diego.
A little bit of a reverse split. He's hitting better against right-handers than he is against left-handers. A little bit of fastballs beating him from the left-handers lately.
Ball 3.
Overall, it's a good year for him, but faded down the stretch. Last 10 games well below 200. Even with that, draws the start platoon advantage versus Austin Meadows. Of course, you have the platoon advantage, and you have his great defense. That's a strike, and it's 3-1.
See the numbers.
That is a leadoff walk. Second straight inning. Rodriguez has walked the leadoff man. Fox Bet Super 6 is giving you a chance to win $5,000 of Big Papi's money during tonight's game. It's free to play. Just enter now before the contest closes for your chance at $5,000. Scan the QR code now. Download the app and play for free. Mike Zunino, who does a couple things exceptionally well. He catches, handles the staff, and hits home runs. 33 of them this season. And named an all-star for the first time.
It's unbelievable what he's done in the power numbers. I mean, his approach is not going to change, right? So he's up there to hit extra base hits. And so he's slugging way more than he's getting singles.
Here's a visit from Dave Bush. There's already action down in the Red Sox bullpen. Garrett Richards, converted starter, beginning to loosen here in the second inning.
Yeah, the command issue is what got Alex concerned. That he's not throwing enough strikes early on, and if he's not throwing enough strikes, it takes away his weapon of that changeup and puts him in a tough spot. You can't sit and hope that he's going to get it in a playoff series, a best of 5. I said game ones are so important. Used to be my favorite game to pitch, one best of 5, because the best of 5 is like a mental teeter-totter. You have to not be caught up in the storylines. Oh, it's over. They won the first game. But in a best of 7, you don't get caught up in that, right? You have to play a couple games. And even then, down 2-0 is no big deal. Down 2-0 in a best of 5.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
2-0 in game 1. Runner at first. Rodriguez checks on it. Margot has good speed. And the Rays do like to run. It's one of those things we were talking about earlier. They hit a lot of home runs, but that's not all. They're top 5 in the league in stolen bases. Very aggressive running the bases when the ball is in play.
Ball 2.
2-0.
He's not long for this game, is Eduardo. And coming into this game, he was much better on the road than he was at home. But he's not going to be given much more time to try to find that groove and release point. Especially against a guy that's sitting dead red all the time trying to hit homers. The juicy count for him right now.
Pulls the ball more than anybody in baseball. Hits the ball in the air more than anybody in baseball. Up there looking to do one thing, and he's done it well. On a 2-0 pitch from Rodriguez. Puts it where he wants it. Strike 1. One pitch on the hands and foul back.
See, and when he can throw strikes with his fastball, that little cutter doesn't look like much, but he gets the ball off the barrel of the bat because they have to respect the sneaky quick fastball. So just think about his ability to change lanes. There's the cutter that's going into right-handers, and when he throws his fadeaway changeup, that really has the two-way separation for opposite, right-handed hitters. When he's facing right-handed hitters. When he's not throwing strikes, though, with his fastball, too much pressure on those pitches to be perfect.
Back in the count at 2-2. Here he comes. Zunino fouls it down the line. And out of play. One of those 33 home runs for Zunino this season came against Rodriguez. Back on September 7th at Fenway Park. It is a pulled fly ball like he does so well over the monster.
Yeah, anything up and in and up over the middle of the plate is going to be tough for Zunino, but he covers everything else against left-handers. Down, middle, and away.
Another 2-2 is, boy, catching a lot of the play. Tried to get it up. Got away with it. He'll do it again.
And that's the downside of having the numbers scream where you need to throw it. If you make that mistake 2 inches below the area, consider the strike zone as 9 boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 is the quadrants I always used to look at. He's trying to get it in that 3rd quadrant, or where he's trying to get it upper and tight. And easier said than done when you're struggling with your fastball command. So that he's trying to get it higher. Outside in is how I count the boxes. So outside part of the plate's 1, 2, 3 is the top of the zone. He wants to get it in the 3 area and above.
He missed by a quadrant.
Yes.
Might be gone.
Yes.
Another 2-2. 7 pitch to Zunino is lifted to deep center field. Hernandez back onto the track. He's going to have room to make the catch. Into the deepest part of the yard. Plenty deep to allow Margot to advance into second.
That was a mistake that stayed in the park, luckily for the Red Sox and Rodriguez. That ball, it was supposed to be outside corner, catch the plate, and he caught the middle of it. You see the follow through. Just missed it.
So now it's the 9-hitter, the longest tenured Ray, Kevin Kiermaier, in his 9th season here. This roster has turned over so much. The fantastic glove man, center fielder, has been here almost a decade now.
Time!
Well, he's known mostly for what he does defensively. He was good in the World Series last year, and in the second half of this regular season, quietly well above average offensively. Lefty takes ball one.
Last 9 games he's been pretty good. Yes, well over 1,000. Only pitch like really struggles, which you rarely see anymore, is the changeup from the left-hander. So left-handed changeup on a left-handed batter really messes with his timing.
One and one. Two balls, one strike.
How about what this city's got a chance to do? You don't think they're getting a little spoiled here? Champa Bay, or might as well change the name to Champa Bay. Hockey, football, hockey twice, right?
Got the AL title last year. Set on their first World Championship in 2021. 100 wins to lead the American League. On a 2-1 pitch, Kiermaier swings and misses, and it's 2-2. And they are a team that a lot of people are picking. This is no longer the team that is crashing the party. Expectations high for this group.
Yeah, what I'm interested to see, and obviously so much more of a season it takes to get to this point, and they've certainly proved they've mastered that. But they've used their relievers a lot this year.
More than anybody. 2-2.
And so how that plays out, well, time will tell as the playoffs go and unfold. You could see it last year, even in a short series or a short season, that bullpen got pretty fatigued with the rate it was being used. This team, though, has some young dynamic starters now at the front end that you would consider, I guess, fresher because of the lack of innings pitched for most of them, with the exception of today's starter.
Got it. That change. The lefty change finish off Kiermaier.
It looks so good, and you can only throw it in one spot if you're going to be successful, and he threw it in the perfect spot. And that is what makes it difficult, and what's going to be difficult for Eduardo is that's it.
Well, you hear about the third time through the lineup penalty. Teams trying to avoid pitcher face in the lineup for a third time. Here they will avoid having him face the lineup a second time. Into the bullpen in the second inning. Here comes Garrett Richards. Arena comes up again. He started things off walking, coming in to score the first run. What does he have ready as an encore, John, for one of the great postseason performances of all time? 10 home runs. As far as the regular season encore, pretty darn good. He's probably going to win Rookie of the Year. And here he is again on the biggest stage.
Yeah, I don't know that we'll ever see anything like that. He basically said, get on my back, boys, and carried the Rays through to the World Series with a chance to win it. Lightning quick hands, loves the first pitch. Now facing a right-hander, throws across his body. Richards, 94, 95 mile-an-hour fastball.
Here's that first pitch. Foul. Strike one.
So Richards is going to come after you. Like I said, he kind of crossfires. He's got a slider, throws his curveball about 78, and then that changeup. And once a product of the Angels, funky mechanics led to some injury problems. Now trying to kind of rectify his career here with Boston.
And out of the bullpen as Eduardo Rodriguez leaves here in the second inning. Richards to Rosarena with an 0-1. That's high, ball one. Richards had some good runs as a starting pitcher, but really faded as the season went on. They move him into the bullpen. Looked like for a while that maybe he had found a new calling there. He was dominant over the first few weeks in that role. Quite as good in September. But when your starter only goes 1 2/3, it's all hands on deck down there. Trying to find somebody to give him a little bit of length, perhaps. Margot at second, 2 gone. The 1-1, Rosarena. It's set on the ground is short. Bogarts, low throw, and a nice backhand play by Dahlbeck to end the inning. Into the Boston bullpen already, trying to keep within striking distance. The rookie Shane McClanahan goes back at it. First pitch swinging Christian Arroyo. Smooth backhand play, Yandy Diaz. One pitch, 1 out.
What a great play. That's such a pick-me-up. When you get a first pitch out in the playoffs or any other game, that's huge. But this play was made so special because of the in-between hop that he had to backhand and kind of guess. And I'm telling you what, he made it look smooth and easy.
For the first out of this 3rd inning. Back to the top of the order for Kike Hernandez. He's up 2-0. As Hernandez, who struck out his first time, climbs in. Strike 1. Hernandez 8 home runs in the postseason in his career. This Red Sox team that not a lot of people gave much of a chance to make much noise this season. They didn't have any big splashy moves in the offseason, but a couple more under the radar moves, like getting Renfroe for nothing, like getting Kike Hernandez on a 2-year $14 million deal. Both those guys have followed up with very valuable seasons.
Yeah, you're right. It's the intangible things that you can't quantify sometimes in statistics that make the Red Sox a special year. I mean, they were running away with the division, and then a little bit of reality and just the ebb and flow of a season will catch up to you. Guys will get hot and cold, but this offense is meshed well. Defensively, I think Kike in center, it just gives them a good balance. And J.D. Martinez is such a missed batter.
Up the middle, Data wins here. Brandon Lau for out number 2. Yeah, the Red Sox, we touched on it. They led for much of the season in the division, but they went .500 over the final 3 months. Opened the door for the Rays, who just kept on charging forward. The franchise's best season. And then Alex Cora's team really had to rally in the final days, sweeping Washington just to get into the wild card game.
Yeah, you know, the sky was falling the first 3 games. You remember they got swept by the Baltimore Orioles, and, you know, this was going to be the year everyone thought it was going to be. And they just did a great job talking to Alex. His team never had their head down. And even when they had that lead and lost the lead and had to fight back, they never had their head down, and they battled the whole way. Here's another big addition in getting Schwarber at the deadline.
And one that on the surface, a lot of people looked and said, well, how does he fit? You got Verdugo in left field. You've got J.D. Martinez DHing. Plus, he had missed the last month with a hamstring injury. Where they said, look, we'll find a way. We'll get him right. We'll find a way to get him in the lineup. Part of that was he's played a little bit of first base. But part of it is the way they just move the pieces around.
And nobody hotter in the history of the game, it seemed like, before he got hurt with the Nationals.
Oh, my gosh.
And it really is a game changer for them. You look at the direction they ended up going. They were a couple games back because of him. They unload. A bunch of teams benefited from getting Scherzer and Turner and Schwarber, of course, coming to the Red Sox.
1-2 pitch.
Okay, I'm impressed with this kid. I was impressed with him talking just in our little Zoom that we get to talk to the starters beforehand. His attitude, of course, a local kid. But his stuff is nasty.
Home with a 2-2. Schwarber tries to lay off and does to work it full. Faced these Red Sox a few times this season. Sub-3 ERA.
We'll see. He can go to a slider right now if he wanted to. We'll see if he goes to the slider and gets a swing and miss.
Here he comes. Hard stuff. Grounder into short right field for Lau. And that's the first clean inning of the game for Shane McClanahan. Does it on 11 pitches. Wander Franco, the 20-year-old superstar, to lead things off when you come back. Let's be honest, postseason is better than any good movie. Randy's got the popcorn out, taking it all in. So we go to the bottom of the third inning. Tampa Bay in front 2-0. Wander Franco leads off this inning against the new Boston pitcher Nick Pivetta. Takes strike one. Manager of the Rays, Kevin Cash, kind enough to join us. Kevin, this young guy, Shane McClanahan, we can watch him on film, we can watch him in person, we can read the numbers, but what's the guy like? What allows this kid to pitch on this stage and look the way he looks?
Yeah, highly motivated, very intense, and I think he's found a lot about himself throughout the course of this season. We put a lot on his plate last year in the postseason, never pitching in the big league game until then, and then this year he's checked every box on and off the field.
1 ball, 1 strike, and another young guy at the plate, Wander Franco. How excited are you to watch what he's going to do this month?
A lot. Look, his talent is undeniable. He has come up here and just energized our club like so many of the other guys. But Wander, I've never seen a guy, come up with so much hype and so much pressure and just a mark on his back that he has handled so well and performed. I mean, he is a big-time player. We saw it in the first inning. You feel good when a ball's hit to him, and you feel really good when he's standing in the box.
On a 1-2 pitch. Foul.
Kevin, I got to ask you, it may have a slogan in your organization of why not, meaning why not? I mean, you guys do everything there is to win. And I thought one of the hardest things, I'm imagining one of the hardest things was trading Adames, but also at the same time it gave this young man an opportunity to play. What was that transaction like?
Tough. We love Willie, and we're so happy that he's playing postseason baseball. He deserves to be there. Done a tremendous job in Milwaukee, but these things have a way of working out. There's 2 great shortstops playing in the big leagues right now, but there's no denying the impact that Willie Adames had, and now Wander's going to get to have that opportunity.
Kevin, appreciate the time. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Okay, guys, sounds good. Thanks.
Kevin Cash, what a job he's done. Back-to-back division titles, trying to get the Rays back to the World Series, trying to get their first win of the World Series. Ball 3, and it's full.
We were talking on the way over. There is something to be said for an organization going, let's try this. Everyone says this might not work. Let's try this. I mean, the things that they try, usually they're successful at, and if they're not, they self-adjust and find a way. And a lot of people, including people who have been in the game a long time, wonder how long can this be successful? Well, guess what? The last 3-4 years answers a lot of those questions.
And it really goes back farther than that, right? It goes back to Andrew Friedman, 15 years ago. Here's a payoff and a strikeout. Pivetta to open his night. Well, the American League East, really close to that time frame we're talking about, back to 2000. Red Sox have won 4 division titles. Yankees have won 3. And just below the titles, you see the payrolls. And a lot gets made of that. Rays don't have a huge payroll. They make the most out of what they spend. And for years, they've challenged conventional baseball wisdom. They've had to look outside the box given those constraints for any edge they can find. And they've pushed envelope after envelope to keep on winning. Brendan Lau grounds the first one that he sees into short right field for Christian Arroyo. 2 up and 2 down for Nick Pivetta, and we check in with Ken Rosenthal.
Joe, one of the amazing things about the Rays is their depth of young talent. It's not just Wander Franco that they have at shortstop. Taylor Walls is a guy that a lot of people in the organization felt outplayed Franco at the alternate site last year. They also have another shortstop prospect, Vidal Brujan. They keep coming.
Well, that's the thing, if you're trying to figure out year to year, what are they going to do now? You just can't make this up. To win 100 games and lose your pitching staff tells you about the depth. It tells you about the leadership that they all have had to buy in, because it's not super conventional, and players come and go, and we'll just see how long they're able to keep a Wander Franco. We'll see how long they can keep a Rosarena.
off.
2-0 on Nelson Cruz.
Because of the resources and maybe the lack of. They're always looking for the next great deal. And I think the joke would be, and the running joke has been, if they call your organization, hang up. Because they're going to get the better end of it.
Yeah.
At least that's the way it's played out.
If I'm the Rays and I'm calling you about, say, that candy bar you have sitting over there that you weren't going to eat. Well, now I'm calling you about that candy bar. You're wondering, maybe that candy bar is better than you think. Maybe you should eat it.
Exactly.
3-0. Here comes Pivetta. Cruz with the green light foul ball, 3-1. And like Kenny's talking about, the guys coming up through the system keep on coming. They keep on coming. A lot of times they don't get here. They're used in trades to fill out the edges of the roster, continue to keep them competitive and beyond that at the big league level. 19 players on this team acquired by trade, including this guy Cruz, who hits one to the moon here, but did he get under it? Back to the wall. It hits one of the rings. It's in play and a live ball that allows Cruz to keep on rolling into third base.
I think that's gone.
But they are now signaling home run.
Yeah, that's gone.
So that hit a C ring and a home run for Nelson Cruz. You've got 4 rings up there, A and B. If it hits those, it's live and in play. If it's hit C or D in fair territory, it's a home run. And that one did to make it 3-0.
Yeah, they figured out by the height of the ball and where it hits that ring, there's no chance it's going to stay in. And you could see this ball was crushed, and he hits that right there. No chance it's not a home run. Sometimes confusing for those who seeing it for the first time. But as you mentioned, you got the small ring is A, you got the outer ring is B, and then you got the larger ring, which is C, which is where they hit it. And there's all kinds of things that come along with it. Take it from there.
When it hits A and B, that's when it gets fun. That's when it gets a little crazy. And the tip-off that this hit C was that Cruz was just taking his time around in the bases, because if it had hit B, he would be in play there and was going to get thrown out at third. But it's a dead ball home run as soon as it hits C. And for Nelson Cruz, it's his 18th postseason home run, his first to hit a ring.
A, you covered that well. B, there's too many rings.
C, he hit. Andy Diaz, strike one. All right, there's going to be a quiz tomorrow, okay? Multiple choice. Diaz had a good game so far, hadn't he? An infield single that led to a run. Slick defense at third.
Big, strong guy, but agile over at third.
Ball 2.
Ahead 2-1.
Well, the challenge again, we talked about it for Boston, was going to be, could they get early damage against the young pitchers? So far they haven't. They got the 3-run deficit. Now they've got to keep it right there because their offense is plenty good to come back in this game. The problem is the Rays bullpen is really good. So the Rays make you play a shorter game. And the shorter game isn't in the first 4 or 5 innings. It really is from the 7th inning on for the most part. And they got a slew of guys with all kinds of arm angles that we'll show you later that can shut you down.
Well, a walk for Diaz. Third walk drawn by Tampa Bay as Alex Cora watches his third pitcher of the game already work. And up comes Jordan Luplow. One of the things that Boston did so well in the wild card game was they didn't walk anybody. Didn't give the Yankees any free passes. They've already walked 3 in game 1 of the division series. It's Luplow to the plate.
Man, you just think about what was happening Sunday, the final day of baseball. In the last 8th and 9th inning for both the Boston Red Sox and the Yankees, it saved each one of their years. Otherwise, you were headed for a kind of a confusing 3-way playoff with the Toronto Blue Jays, who had kind of crushed their way into a contention. But these Red Sox down 5-2, as you mentioned, having a sweep Washington, came back and then were able to shut down the kind of inconsistent Yankees lineup down the stretch really led to their problems.
The game in Washington, it was that man Rafael Devers that hit 2 home runs, and it was the guy on the mound here, Nick Pivetta, that closed it out. Game 162.
Yeah, what's unique about both managers, both do a great job, right? They don't think conventionally, and they're not afraid to go with feel. Of course, Alex Cora using all kinds of combinations in winning the World Series, and then you look at what Kevin Cash and the organization is not afraid to do in their unconventional ways, even to the degree of last year in Game 6 against the Dodgers. That's who they are, and they stuck with their guns. It didn't work out, and look at their pair again.
There goes the runner on a swing and a miss for strike 3, and the inning is over. But Nelson Cruz, his 18th postseason home run, gives Tampa Bay the early 3-0 lead. Two hits, no runs through 3 for Shane McClanahan. Part of the order coming up for Boston here. Xander Bogaerts to lead it off. 24-year-old in his first postseason start. Rifles a fastball in there. Strike 1. First round pick out of USF in 2018. He pitched 2 games in rookie ball that year. 2019 almost exclusively A ball before debuting last postseason. That's a bouncing ball to Brandon Lau for the first out of the 4th. For more on McClanahan, here's Ken.
Joe, freshman year at the University of South Florida, Shane McClanahan, one of his first bullpen sessions, feels tightness in his left forearm. Uh-oh, you know what that meant. Tommy John surgery. Misses all of 2016, comes back the following fall, and the first pitch out of his hand in an inter-squad game was 95 miles per hour. USF coaches Billy Moll and Mark Kingston looked at each other and said, whoa, that's different. McClanahan did come back stronger, and he credits USF's athletic trainer at the time, Josh Herron, with helping him in his rehabilitation. He said, I owe so much to him. I wouldn't be here without him.
And now he's the hardest throwing left-handed starter in the majors. And there's an example of it. Same way that he got Devers the first time, just blowing heater by.
Well, he's got great action, great balance over the rubber, very athletic in his delivery, and repeats it. And that's the key. When you can repeat your delivery and come out of the same release point, he gets a ton of ground balls on his breaking ball and slider, and they can't differentiate between the two. But it's that 97-mile-an-hour moving fastball that creates the problem for all these hitters that he's facing tonight.
0-2. Right back to it. 98 this time.
I mean, the Rays have cornered the market on pitchers named Shane.
Right.
Both right and left-handed. Probably the first time in playoff history that Shane will start Game 1 and Game 2.
Both rookies. McClanahan tonight, Boz tomorrow. The Shane Show. Yeah. Pitching coach Kyle Snyder looks on as an 0-2 comes home again from McClanahan.
Well, he did credit his pitching coach Snyder for really developing that 3rd and 4th pitch, because when you come out of the pen, you don't showcase anything other than 1 and 2, and you need 3 or 4 to be a lockdown starter in this big leagues with the style of hitting that exists. And he took a hard look in the offseason, went to work, and improved the quality of his secondary pitches.
Ball 2.
Up here 2-2. So he makes that debut in the postseason, but it wasn't very good. Right? He had an ERA above 8. And he said, okay, this is real. It's time to go to work. Those 2 pitches that I was using, it ain't working. You know, that kind of sparked his offseason, that work you're talking about with Kyle Snyder.
Ball 3.
So they add that slider. They're working here at the Trop before they even went to spring training. And he said, well, what do you think? Stand behind me. Watch me throw this pitch. Tell me what you think. And similar to what his coaches at South Florida said in his first pitch back from Tommy John, where they said, whoa, that's different. Kyle Snyder said, yeah, whoa, that's different. Let's go with that. And that's a slider the league's hitting 198 against. It's punched to left here, and it's down in front of Arozarena for a base hit for Devers.
And like any pitcher, every once in a while you get underneath the pitch. And if he stays on top of the pitch, he has late life and tremendous break. That one almost looked like he tried to throw a strike 3-2. Didn't have the late break and quality that you're looking for. This thing just spins in the middle. See how it just kind of rotates right there? And that was almost thrown as if I'm going to throw a strike and maybe I'll get a swing and miss. And the great Devers, of course, had other plans.
Third hit, all singles. One of them from this man, Hunter Renfroe.
Ball one.
1-0.
You see the shift, of course. A good meeting right now by Zunino, overthrowing a little bit. Once he got 0-2 on Devers, it felt like he was trying to overthrow his pitches, but there's the shift and nobody on the right side of the field.
T-Mobile covers the most interstate highway miles with 5G. Homer away. Stay connected to your team with T-Mobile, the leader in 5G coverage.
Renfroe is so strong that if you leave one middle to outer third, that's where his power and slug comes from. If you can paint middle to in, tie him up so he can't extend his hands, that's where the lack of slug comes from him. Right there is the pitch. Because there's so many things. You open a whole different door when you can throw the inner fastball on that inner side of the plate, because now you can throw your slider in that starts on the same plane, but the hitter can't recognize the difference, swings over the top.
Tried to do it, hooked down the line, foul.
But see, that's a great example. All right, so now you're thinking he already knows I just got busted in with a fastball. I need to be quicker. And by throwing a slider, if this would have dove a little bit more towards his back foot, he swings over the top, but he breaks his bat. See how it's a ball still? And if he wants, he can cheat even more on that same plane and try to get it to his back foot or elevate a fastball up.
Devers at first, one gone. McClanahan's 1-2. No, Perry's it, ball 2.
Great pitch, just an inch or two higher, and that's a swing and a miss. And now when you get to 2-2, this is what you want your decision. You don't want to go to 3-2, so now you throw your best quality pitch that you think is going to result in action. A swing and a miss or a ground ball double play.
Got a bunch of ground balls tonight. 7 of the 10 balls in play have been on the ground. 2-2. It is grounded foul.
The general rule when you're in a pressure situation in the postseason, kind of your scouting report is you want to know, even if it goes 3-2, who wants to walk and who doesn't. The guys that don't want to walk, you don't have to throw a strike. They want to be the hero. They swing and miss a lot of balls out of the zone. The guys who are disciplined make you throw them a really good pitch. They take their base and pass the baton on. I like the aggressive guys.
Here's the 2-2. What's on a Renfroe?
He's aggressive. And you know this based on their evidence of work. You watch video and you see sometimes in game you can see a change of how a guy's getting jumpy or trying to make things happen. But traditionally what happens in the postseason, everyone gets more aggressive. Only the elite players who can slow the game down, do they become less aggressive. And those are the ones you got to watch out for in the lineup card.
7 pitch to Renfroe is fouled off. Went back to the hard stuff. Couple good battles here by Boston. Devers won his with a base hit the other way.
And I don't know if pitchers do this anymore because there is so much information being thrown their way. I used to take, and a lot of pitchers would take the lineup card and circle a name. He's not beating me. And the great offenses have 3. And you got to work around them, especially if they're all together in the lineup.
Back spinning pop up right side of the infield. Luplow dancing around Devers to make the catch. Well, one of the guys you would circle, not in the lineup tonight. And Boston here in the 4th inning looking for their first run and missing J.D. Martinez.
Absolutely. I mean, that is such a fluke and so bad of an injury. Hopefully he's going to be okay and he can play tomorrow, at least in this series. I mean, you're talking the randomness of hitting a bag going out to his field. This guy commands your attention as a starter or a reliever, and he makes everyone around him better.
There's Verdugo. Reached on an error his first time. Strike 1. Now, what you're talking about, Sunday, final game of the regular season, J.D. Martinez, something he's done as long as he's played the outfield. When he runs out to the field, he steps on second base.
Yeah.
But he happened to take a glance up at something off in the distance as he was stepping on second and stepped on it awkwardly, rolled the ankle, and it blew way up, really swollen, to the point where he couldn't play in the wild card game, to the point where he wasn't ready to start tonight. Alex Cora said, though, look, you're good to go up there and hit once, and if you hit it out of the park, you can walk, so don't worry about the ankle. And they hope that it's good enough for him to play tomorrow. The 1-1 to Verdugo is a little away, ball 2.
Verdugo so unique in his style of hitting. Just kind of sits there and just waits as long as possible and then fires the trigger with his bat just sitting there like and then he gets going. And if you make the wrong pitch when he gets going, he's a hit machine. And certainly, as you mentioned, him trying to replace Mookie Betts, I don't think anybody thought that would happen, but he's certainly done a great job making it not so lopsided.
Well, Mookie's in L.A. winning a World Series last year, but Verdugo hit .308, led the team, got some down ballot MVP votes, and won a lot of people over with the play, but with the personality too. Fun guy to watch.
I think early on when he came over, he struggled against left-handers, or at least he was having an opposite effect. This year, the left-handers have kind of caught up to him a little bit as far as what his average is, as opposed to right-handers who's crushing at .323. So, you know, if he can just hit 240, 260 against lefties with that wall as his friend at Fenway, then he's going to have that year where he could hit for average.
His first time tonight, the Red Sox have really made McClanahan work. 24th pitch of the inning coming.
And this is what I thought they could do. Obviously, he came out of the gate firing bullets, so he struck out the side. But this is what I thought the Red Sox could do to the young pitching of the Rays and get them a little bit, if possible, off their game by putting stress and long at bats.
Up the middle sharply and past it diving Franco. Second hit of the inning, another long at bat. And the Red Sox get the tying run to the plate here in the 4th.
But see, that's a perfect example of how quiet he was and goes up the middle against a left-hander who he struggled with. Look, this is the foot down and the ball's outer part of the plate, and he's just quiet with everything and goes right up the middle, keeps the inning going, and passes on the baton to the next guy. That's what the Red Sox do. That's why year in and year out their offense is always in the top 5, top 10 in every category.
First visit from Kyle Snyder. Tomorrow, it's a full day of the MLB postseason, starting with Game 2 of White Sox Astros on MLB Network, and then the NLDS gets underway. Braves and Brewers on TBS. We'll be back with Game 2 of this series between the Sox and the Rays at 6:30 Eastern. And out west, Game 1 between the Dodgers and the Giants. What a game it was in the National League wildcard game last night. Chris Taylor hitting a walk-off home run to help the 106-win Dodgers survive and set up a meeting with the 107-win San Francisco Giants.
Yeah, I think every inning was tense. It wasn't like it was one of those classic pitchers duels. And traffic on the bases, great plays, good pitching, and like you said, yes, the Dodgers move on.
Bobby Dahlbeck swings and misses at a high fastball. It's one of those games that had you saying, man, I love postseason baseball. Just every pitch dripping with drama.
I loved it for a lot of reasons, but I also loved it because two old farts were on the mound carving up, and they didn't have their maybe their best stuff, but they knew how to pitch to the circumstance and get in and out of trouble.
Quickly 0-2. Good visit from Snyder. Pitch.
And he's turned it up a notch. He's gone on attack with the fastball 98, 97, 99, and really attacking Dahlbeck, not giving him a chance to really kind of lock in. Ball, every one of them seems to be up. Confusion of a pitcher sometimes. When you see a hitter foul off a lot of fastballs, you start thinking he might be on it.
And so he breaks something off. Dahlbeck takes it, ball one.
And that's the other lesson you'll end up learning is which guys never come off fastball, which means they're always hunting fastball. Even if they're fouling it off and look late, they're hunting fastball. They don't come off. They try to adjust to the other. And then the guys that do a good job of trying to figure out what you're trying to do and have a different approach with 2 strikes.
2 on, 2 out, 1-2 is pulled to third and caught by Diaz. More good glove work at the hot corner by Yandy Diaz, helping Shane McClanahan put up his 4th 0 of the night. Strike 1 on Manuel Margot. The bottom of the 4th inning with the Rays in front 3-0. Getting 2 in the 1st and 1 in the 3rd. 2nd inning of work for Nick Pivetta. It's bounced back to him. Nice stab. Good play for the 1st out. Eduardo Rodriguez started this game. Didn't make it out of the 2nd inning. Then it was Garrett Richards. Now Nick Pivetta. This game is featured on the free-to-play Fox Bet Super 6 app. One of the questions in tonight's contest is which team will win and by how many runs. It's kind of cheating if you make that call now, isn't it? You get a head start figuring it out. Take advantage of it. Here's Zunino. Fly to the wall his first time. Takes ball 1 from Pivetta, who was and still could be a candidate to start the 4th game of this series. The Red Sox piecing it together as best they can. Kind of the effect like you were talking, the difference in a 5-game series versus 7. They couldn't wait around to see if Rodriguez was going to find
ball
it.
Ball 2.
They had to make a move now because this game 1 is so important.
It is good news for the Red Sox. They have Chris Sale going in game 2, but you want to build off the momentum of coming in here, and you got to win at least 1. And only later in the game, when the game gets away, do you get away from your strategy of trying to win a game, right? When you use your relievers a little bit differently if the spread is different and it's not close by the 6th inning. But the Red Sox have plenty of offense to get back into games. It's whether or not they can match kind of the mix and match bullpen that the Rays have.
Well, let's remember the Red Sox had more comeback wins than any team in baseball this year. In fact, more than half of their total came on comeback wins, including that final day of the regular season. They happen to face the best pitching staff in the league tonight. 3-1 to Zunino is cut on in this. Count goes full.
Yeah, especially here at home. They've been awesome here at home. Preventing runs, scoring runs.
Here's the payoff. Zunino waits on it, serves it into right center field, sinking in a hurry and down for a base hit. Zunino hangs on with a long single.
That doesn't happen very often, I'm telling you. That's like a rarity. A base hit out of him is rare. Now an extra base hit, not as rare.
How about a base hit the other way, no less? This guy pulls the ball more than anybody in the game. Homers at a higher rate than anybody in the league. Here is a bloop shot base hit to right.
And the outfielder had to respect his power. They were playing deep.
So 1-on-1 out for the 9-hitter Kevin Kiermaier. Rays fans know his story well by now. 31st round pick in 2010 at a Parkland College, junior college in Illinois. Hits it sharply in the ground to second. There's 1 and 2. A 4-6-3 double play to finish off the 4th for Pivetta. American League Divisional Series presented by Good Sam. It is 3-0 Rays to the 5th here in Game 1. And follow all the action of the postseason with the MLB app. Real-time tracking of every pitch to in-depth analysis of the games. Download the app today. 4 scoreless for Shane McClanahan in his first big league postseason start. And he starts this inning with a strike on Christian Vasquez.
Yeah, he's done a nice job delivering those 4 innings. And if they can get 5 or 6 out of him, that is an outstanding debut. And I'm sure Kevin Cash would do backflips where if you thought there would be a little bit more of a calm and the veteran Rodriguez would have the advantage and he had the short outing.
No swing, 1-1.
One thing about Vasquez, boy, he went through a power surge and he's kind of lost that power stroke. And he reconnected with that power the last couple of years and just really connecting as a catcher with some power, and he's lost it, and he's really struggled against sliders. That pitch has been something he cannot stay off of, and really kind of contributing to that lack of success in the power numbers.
23 homers in 2019. He was doing that. This is one of the most well-rounded catchers in baseball. He's always handled the staff well. Had a good throwing arm. Had a good offensive season last year too, but those numbers have crashed. Still though, Alex Cora said, I'll bet on this guy in the spotlight. I'll bet on him as it turns to October. That wasn't enough for him to start him on Tuesday as Plawecki's become the guy for Evaldi. But Vasquez in there tonight. 31 years old out of Puerto Rico. Leading off this 5th inning on a 2-1 from Shane McClanahan. Watches the ball high. 3-1.
One thing to watch here as we get into the 5th inning is McClanahan running away from his fastball. What I mean about running away, falling too much to the third base side, staying on that fastball to let the late life do the work. He's shown a couple times he's lose that arm side command, and then a little trip to the mound, and he kind of rekindles it.
Vasquez hits one in the air the other way. Drifting back on it, Margot with room. One gone in the 5th. Up comes the 9-hitter Christian Arroyo, who's playing in just his 4th game since mid-July. He had a hamstring injury. He came back for 3 games and tested positive for COVID-19. Missed a couple weeks for that. And in the meantime, they got Jose Iglesias from the Angels, and he was their best hitter in September. So Arroyo comes back, but they can't take Iglesias out of the lineup, even though he's going to be ineligible to play in the postseason because they got him after rosters freeze at the end of August. They needed to get in and then worry about what they were going to do at second base. And so for Arroyo, starts have been few and far between the last couple months. Kind of a microcosm of his career. A former first-round pick of the San Francisco Giants who just has not been able to stay healthy. The Rays saw that. He was here for 2 seasons. Key piece in the Evan Longoria deal. Red Sox got him late last year. He run a 2-0. He hits it sharply into left center field for a base hit.
But that's what he's been doing in a small sample size against left-handers. So you can imagine that Alex felt good if he could get him in there against some lefties.
Well, here's something that Rays pitchers don't get to do a whole lot. That is face a lineup a 3rd time. Hernandez is 0 for 2 tonight. Comes up against McClanahan. One away in the 5th inning of a 3-0 game. And there is Pete Fairbanks.
Ball 1.
Way up there. Back of first, Luplo. Makes a play, 2 gone.
See, and that's what I was talking about early in the game. You get some stressless outs, and that's what they've been able to do really against a great lineup. even though there's been a couple balls hit hard, they've been on not like deep accounts, not on the 9th pitch too often. You get a couple pop-ups, you get some easy outs, and as a pitcher, you reset your brain going, okay, stay away from the big inning.
Yeah, you need those outs sprinkled in there to get somewhat deep into the game. Rays have only had a starter go 6+ innings in a little more than a quarter of their games. 50 fewer innings from this rotation than any other playoff team.
And see, this is kind of a good opportunity to slow the young man down. This could be his last hitter. When you think about who's on deck, and Fairbanks is warming up, so a little bit of time to give Fairbanks the opportunity to get ready with Bogaerts on deck.
Time for our game summary, sponsored by Liberty Mutual. Game 1 between these teams. Wander Franco got it going with an RBI double after Rosarena started the game with a walk. They got 2 in the first inning, 1 in the third on the Nelson Cruz home run.
So a little bit of a delay there, a little bit of information. I would anticipate some breaking balls and sliders coming against Schwarber, even after he attacks him, let's say, with a first pitch fastball. But there was a little bit of a plan to kind of create some time and gap to make sure Fairbanks is ready if Schwarber gets on.
Ball 1.
It's ball 1.
Schwarber's resurgent to the year he was having.
That's down.
Oof. Using his legs more, in a more athletic position. You know, he got to where a lot of swing and miss. But boy, he got connected with his body, and that power surge, what was it, like 16, 17 home runs in a
16 home runs in 18 games in June. And that stance you're talking about, that's what he did in college at Indiana when he was just a monster. And a first-round pick of the Cubs. He said he went back to that, what feels most natural to him. A little bit squattier, the legs engage more.
Well, he's a freakish athlete. I mean, it's not only baseball he can play.
A patient hitter.
And
strike 2 and 2.
That is 2 painted fastballs. And now he could spin him with a breaking ball on the same outside part of the plate. But that you tell the hitter's coming, he can't do anything with that pitch, that one particular spot.
McClanahan fires. Breaking pitch taken for a ball. It's full, and the runner at first will get a head start.
Such a weird place to be right here. You know this could be your last place. You know you could get it last pitch. You know you could make a pitch to get it out to qualify for a win. Put your team in a good spot.
Here he comes. Got in on him. Broke the bat. Bouncer up the middle to end the inning. 5 scoreless innings for Shane McClanahan, and halfway home in game 1. Top of the order for the Rays, it's Randy Arozarena to lead it off. In time for StatCast, powered by Google Cloud. He led off the game with a walk, came in to score on a double from Franco, and he was flying around the bases, going first to home in a little over 10 seconds.
He's also been really good, really good the last 9 or so games when leading off, getting on base.
Shades of a World Series game 4, him scampering home last year on Brett Phillips' hit.
Ball 2.
I mean, there's just no way to describe what he did last year. It's just not possible. No. And the expectations were so great coming into this year. I honestly thought it would be humanly understandable if he had a letdown to his year, but he really didn't. He did a nice year, as you mentioned, probably the front runner for Rookie of the Year.
A baseball Benjamin Button, who wins a championship series MVP and then a Rookie of the Year in that order.
Yeah, it's weird. You don't ever see it kind of play out like that. I mean, he does have holes, but very few pitchers last year tried to pitch him in and tight. That's where you got to go, and you can even go a little bit further in because his hands are so lightning quick. He doesn't see. He 95 doesn't bother him. 95, 98, 99 doesn't bother him out over the plate, but tight to his hands and up. I'm not going to hit that.
On a 2-2 from Pivetta. Watches one spin low and away to run the count full. Rosarena leading off the 5th. 3-2. High drive way back. He'll admire it. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Long gone. His 11th postseason home run in 21 games, and it's 4-0 Rays.
Talk about lightning quick. It's lightning quick in the zone.
Franco now goes the other way, but gets this off the end of the barrel. Pulled in by Verdugo as we look back at Rosarena's home run.
I mean, that's just quick to the ball, simple, young, powerful, and excitable.
Said last year was special, yeah, but they didn't get what they went there for. That was the ring. This year, he hopes special for finishing off the job, but also he's got fans that he's playing in front of. That includes his wife, his daughters, including a newborn baby girl that he gets to do it for. One gone for Lau. There's ball one. Showing off those muscles. You know, he didn't debut for the Rays until midway through last season because he missed most of summer camp on the COVID list. And while he waited his chance with the Rays quarantining, taught himself how to cook really good chicken and rice. Ate nothing but that and did 300 push-ups a day. Added 15 pounds in quarantine. 15 good pounds to help hit those 10 postseason home runs. Chicken, rice, push-ups. On a bounce, Arroyo.
300 a day?
300 a day. You can break them up, though. You could do 300 a day.
Yeah, I'd have bruises all over my face because my shoulders would collapse.
Oh, jeez.
I couldn't do 50 of them a day, but that's a credit to the young man and really where he's been, coming from St. Louis, of course, and flourishing here.
Two gone, Nelson Cruz, who has a home run of his own today.
Ball one.
I just can't get over the, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but he reminds me of a young Andrew McCutchen.
The Rosarena, you're saying?
Yes,
yeah.
Just that lightning quick hands at the plate. McCutchen had such, I mean, which wins him an MVP, and certainly the build is similar. There's very few guys you see that have that kind of style and size, but can smoke a baseball with their quick hands at the plate.
And so quiet before those quick hands attack. Right?
Like this is just a powerful, majestic swing, right? This isn't violent. This is kind of like he's swinging through the water, but it's so smooth and so professional. He creates the power because he's just that much bigger. That being Nelson Cruz.
Fly the other way. Renfroe to the track with room. A lot of long fly balls in this inning. One of them leaves the yard. It's a Rosarena. Different year, but it's still October. It's Randy's month. It's 4-0 Tampa Bay. Into the bullpen go the Rays as JT Chargois. First out of the pen, delivers strike one on Xander Bogaerts. Call to the bullpen, sponsored by Intuit QuickBooks Live. Chargois was picked up earlier this season from Seattle. Live stuff, but there have been times where he has just completely lost it and not been able to throw it in the strike zone. So you kind of don't know what you're getting when he comes out. Good spot for him here with a 4-0 lead.
Yeah, a little different arm angle. He's going to throw it upwards of 96, 97 miles an hour, and two-pitch mix of slider and a changeup. But I'll tell you what the Rays do. They find different arms. They find different angles. They zig when everyone zags, and they try to create as uncomfortable at bats as you possibly can think of in a 9-inning game. And they do it with a variety of ways. And this year's bullpen, a little more different than just 98, 99.
No.
1-2. Yeah, I mean, you look last year, and a lot of hard throwers coming out of the pen at the back end of things. You had Nick Anderson, Diego Castillo, Pete Fairbanks, all those guys 96 plus. Still have that heat, but a few more wrinkles in there too. 1-2 pitch on the ground into center, base hit for Bogaerts to start the 6th inning.
Nobody does it better with 2 strikes. That's what the Red Sox have been able to do as a team. They don't get bothered. They don't have a lot of wild swing and miss. And you see how confident Bogaerts is with 2 strikes. He spit on the real good slider and saw a fastball up and took it right up the middle.
It's a 4-0 game. Tampa Bay in front after the Arozarena home run, and he loves it. They love him. This guy is a showman. It is fun to watch. Devers takes strike.
You think about it, right?
Yeah.
Just kind of hit me. What an awesome feeling that would be to be an outfielder and doing your thing. The DH does his thing. He stays in the dugout. The crowd can't give him the call that they can give an outfielder when he comes to his position.
He gave him 2 balls. He had a home run there and then tossed up his warm-up ball on the corner, strike 2. Devers 1 for 2 today. Boston has 6 hits in this game, but all of them singles. And they've been scattered. 0-2. In the air to center field. Got under it though, and Kiermaier with an easy play for the first out. We were talking about this Rays bullpen that brings so many different angles at you, so many different guys that do very specific things well. They match up so well, to the tune of a 3.24 ERA that led the American League. And they set a record by having 14 different players pick up a save this year. That is the ultimate closer by committee.
Yeah, it's amazing. Usually doesn't work that way for most other clubs, but they use a variety of guys in a variety of situations. No real clear-cut guy. And that unit down there should be a lot of very proud of what they were able to do, because they logged a lot of innings.
1-0 on Renfroe.
I mean, it may not seem like a lot, but just between this team and the Red Sox, they have almost 100 more innings out of the pen than the Red Sox.
And the Red Sox had a lot out of the pen. So, yeah. It's the one thing that they have going. Those innings have been dispersed with a lot of guys. They've used 41 different pitchers this year.
Ball 2.
And that's where you can get tripped up from year to year, right? They haven't been able to do it yet. They've done a great job managing that. But you think about how many more parts have to go right for you to be successful. It only takes 1 or 2 of those guys to have the hiccups, and it kind of derails the system. But they haven't had many of that, and credit them and the organization for finding the right guys.
Chargois 2-0 is low for ball 3. Zunino tosses down there, but easy for Bogaerts to get back. JT Chargois was acquired for one of those pieces of last season's pen. Diego Castillo was such a big part of what they did. Constantly churning, constantly rolling things over, bringing in new guys. Strike 1. We check in with Ken Rosenthal.
Joe, some of those new guys include David Robertson, the veteran who was a member of the U.S. Olympic team. Luis Patino, who came over in the Blake Snell trade. Colin McHugh, he was with the Red Sox last year, but opted out of the shortened season because his elbow was slow to recover from a procedure. He's here now on a bargain contract. And Michael Wacha, remember him? He's here too.
Bouncing ball should be 2. Lau will do it himself. Double play. So the bullpen does what it's been doing all year. 0 put up by Chagua, 4-0. In this divisional series, every Moonblast home run over 425 feet, FTX is donating $10,000 to charity.
Ball 1.
And Pavetta's 4th inning of work begins with the ball on Yandy Diaz. Diaz has reached both times, played some good defense at third. He's moved over to first at this point.
Ball 2.
2-0.
Pavetta can save Alex a lot of arms if he can kind of keep it right here. Still within striking distance.
Good pitch there. 2-1. Pavetta acquired from the Phillies last year. A really nice pickup. Deals a 2-1 pitch.
It's inside.
A bit inside, ball 3.
Yeah, and their pickups of the starting rotation, I think that's why a lot of people thought, okay, they're not really a playoff team. They know Chris Sale's coming back at some point, but they really did a great job piecing it together and giving the team a chance for their offense to be consistent. Their starting pitching did okay. And
shot the other way. Renfroe for the first out. Saturday, a massive top 5 showdown headlines a Big Noon doubleheader on Fox. Big Noon kickoff crew is live from Iowa City at 10 Eastern before Maryland takes on Ohio State, and then it's Penn State and Iowa. A huge Big Noon Saturday on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Your Spartans looking okay, huh?
amazing to even say that out loud. Yeah, they've had a nice little start, 5-0.
Our Lions, on the other hand, moving on.
Moving on.
To Joey Wendell, first at bat of the night for him. One of the all-stars for the Rays. Swings and misses at what has been his kryptonite, that back foot breaking pitch.
Yeah, and I just love watching guys that don't put any batting gloves on. You don't see it very much. Old school throwback.
And he kind of has a personality in the game to match, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Understated. Just so steady, though. Blue collar, you know, all the cliches. For a guy who grew up getting compared to Chase Utley, and he's kind of leading into those comparisons. To complete the picture, he was 5'7", 150 pounds when he was in high school. So he had all this personality in a very small package. It all kind of worked together. He's down on strikes here. Went to a Division II school, hit a growth spurt, won a national championship, got drafted in the 6th round. Gone from the A's to the Rays and turned into an all-star.
Probably cuts trees down in the offseason with an axe.
And no gloves, no matter how. 2 gone in the 6th inning. And here's Margot, a one-time Red Sox farmhand, traded to San Diego in the Craig Kimbrell deal. It was a deal San Diego didn't want to do without Margot involved in it. And he went there, never really captured the potential they saw in him. And so they packaged him in another deal, sent him to Tampa Bay prior to last season. 27 years old, his 5th year now in the majors. Fouls it off, and it's 1-1.
Thank you.
Well, the Rays yet to go down in order tonight. Chance for Pivetta to work the first 1, 2, 3 inning. Right-hander out of Canada. Turns and deals. Margot swings and misses. 2-2. Strikes him out with the breaking ball. It's been Pivetta's best pitch this season. He's got a 1-2-3-6. Red Sox searching for some offense as Robertson comes in. You're watching the 2021 American League Divisional Series presented by Good Sam. 2 in the first, 1 in the third, 1 in the fifth for the 100-win Tampa Bay Rays. And the Red Sox running out of time here in Game 1. Alex Verdugo leads off the 7th, takes a strike from the third pitcher of the game for Tampa Bay. It's David Robertson resurfacing here with Tampa Bay. Longtime New York Yankee who hadn't pitched much in the majors the last couple of years. Tommy John surgery. Then he goes, pitches in the Olympics. Rays pick him up. Here he is on the postseason roster, going backdoor to Verdugo 0-2.
And on the arms that we saw all the angle, he's going to be more traditional 12 o'clock. He's more straight over the top. He spins the baseball as good as anybody. Cutting action, but over the top tight delivery at release point.
Well, you know, we talk about the Rays acquiring guys that do specific things really well. Well, they didn't acquire him because of this, but one of the specific things he's done well is pitch against Boston. 72 times in his career with the Yankees, a 1.78 ERA against Boston. Starts this outing against Verdugo, who punches a bouncer left side. Wendell's there, steps into the throw to get him.
Well, the other unique thing he does, he's not very tall in height, but he has a large release point, meaning the distance from the rubber to where he releases it for a short guy. He gets down the mound pretty well, which creates that deception. He just knows how to pitch. You wouldn't think a guy this size would get way out there. Well, that's pretty good. I mean, that out of the stretch, that angle, but he gets downhill pretty good and can manipulate the baseball.
Veteran of 30 postseason games of the Yankees, pours one in for a strikeout on the rookie Dahlbeck.
And see, that's how you make 92 look like 98. Where when you see 98 out of a big, tall, lanky guy, you understand it. He's just going boom.
Yeah.
But this is sneaky quick and gets on the hitter because of the delivery and the way he hides the ball. The hitter just doesn't pick it up as well.
Here's what it looks like for Bobby Dahlbeck.
So you just don't see the ball. He goes right. He has a good arm angle behind his body. And then the hitter's trying to pick it up, and he just doesn't see it the way he would against, let's just say, a taller guy whose arm angle is more three-quarter, and it's out away from his body.
.36-year-old pitching 12 games in the regular season for Tampa Bay after they signed him in mid-August, just in time to have him eligible for the postseason. His first big league games in more than 2 years after undergoing Tommy John early 2019 in Philadelphia. His 1-2 pitch.
Ball 2.
The dirt for ball 2. On 2-2, Dahlbeck swats it foul.
I always find it interesting. Guys break into the league and show tremendous power and tremendous capability to hit 40. It's not that easy to do it every year. And that's what he did last year in a short season. Just came in with a lot of raw power, and I think the Red Sox are going to love this guy. I know there was some concern early on about we need another first baseman. Why didn't they go get Rizzo and keep him from the Yankees? And I think he woke up and found his mechanics at the right time to get back on track.
On another 2-2 from Robertson. Dahlbeck lifts it in the air to right. That sends Margot back. He's still going. He's at the wall with just enough room. A long second out.
See, that's some of that power right there. Just a little short.
Full day of MLB postseason tomorrow, starting with Game 2, White Sox Astros. That'll be on MLB Network. And then the NLDS gets underway with the Braves and the Brewers. One of the best offensive teams against one of the best pitching staffs there. We'll be back with Game 2, 6:30 Eastern here on FS1. And then the Dodgers and the Giants will get their series going. Home teams have owned the day here in the ALDS. The Astros getting off to a 6-1 win over the Chicago White Sox. Strike one on Christian Vasquez.
White Sox and Astros, two of the better used starters, meaning they use their bullpens the least and rely heavily on their starting pitching staffs to carry the bulk. You might get some soccer scores in the Milwaukee Atlantic series.
Yeah.
That's how good their starting pitching has been. Speaking of starting pitching, young man going tomorrow for the Rays. That would be a nice cushion if the Rays can hold on to give him that ability to pitch up 1-0 versus down 0-1.
Reaches out, off balance, roll to Franco. David Robertson with a little help from his defense there. We're the 1-2-3 seventh inning. We stretch in Tampa Bay. Coming up for the Rays in the bottom of the inning, Randy Arozarena, who's got a home run. He's scored a couple. Rays in front. Nope. Zunino takes first pitch curveball for strike from Nick Pivetta. What do you think? They got the movie theater butter on that?
I'm going to be honest. I've never seen baseball players eat popcorn during a game.
Way up there off the bat is Zunino in left field. Verdugo can't seem to find it. Oh, it had to be a lonely feeling for a moment. And he's able to find it, make the catch.
I'm going to tell you something. I'm trying to think of all the times that, you know, as a starting pitcher, you got nothing but time to eat.
Yeah,
and there's some good things to eat, right?
No popcorn.
We've never had popcorn.
It looks like good popcorn. First of all,
well, whatever they're doing, it looks like
keep doing it.
Keep doing it. Now, I was famous for a lot of food rallies.
Food rally.
Okay.
Kiermaier.
You'd be down, and whatever you're eating, you just keep eating until your team comes back. So I sacrificed my body early on in my career for things like that. One day it was chicken wings, and I mean, it was a record amount. We did come back. So whatever it takes, you got to be not superstitious, but do whatever works.
A little stitious, though.
Yeah, a little.
Yeah.
Speaking of whatever works, Pivetta has been able to keep the Red Sox in this game and save a lot of innings out of the bullpen.
one of those things where if the offense doesn't get going, it's not going to matter today, but it very well could as the series goes on.
Yeah, I mean, you know, there's 2 off days in a 5-game series, but sometimes you don't get to that second off day.
No. Kiermaier ball takes the ball 2-2. Nick Pivetta, originally out of Canada, then went to junior college in New Mexico. It's Colin McHugh ready to come in and pitch for the Rays. Back spinning fly to center for Hernandez. 2 up, 2 down. And a quick word from Roman.
When it comes to your health, what you do next matters most. Roman, official partner of Major League Baseball.
2 gone, 7th inning, 4-0 Tampa Bay. And another chance to watch Randy Arozarena.
Another chance for Pivetta to make a little bit better pitch than he made on that home run. Getting the ball in the inner part of the plate.
Ball.
And squeeze a little bit there, ball 1. Arozarena walked and scored to start the game, then hit his 11th postseason home run in 21 games. In the 5th inning. 11 postseason home runs, and he's a rookie. Debuted with St. Louis late in 2019. Even had a little bit of time in the postseason with the Cardinals in 19. And then came over to Tampa Bay, still obtaining that rookie status, and probably going to win Rookie of the Year. On this 1-1.
That's down.
Fastball's a little low, ball 2. It's out of Cuba. Fled as a teenager, played for a little while in Mexico, got discovered by the Cardinals, and has gotten his chance here in Tampa Bay.
It's outside.
Dangerous pitch here. 3-1, 2 outs. Can't just lay it in there.
Buckle up, 3-1. Oh, he had bad intentions.
See, even though he made a mistake, that's the area to get him out. Like, he didn't intend to throw it there, but that's the area with 2 strikes. You've got to throw Arozarena. You've got to make him conscious in there.
That's up.
2-out walk. On for the 3rd time today. Well, we talked about Arozarena and Franco right off at the top tonight. Both guys have delivered. Arozarena's reached 3 times. Franco lit the place on fire, doubling 2 batters into the game to bring in Arozarena, give the Rays the instant lead. And he's coming up again here. Sure is great when a guy lives up to the hype. And feels like we've had so many guys live up to impossible hype in recent seasons, from Acuna to Tatis to Vlad Jr. And now Wander Franco, after a couple weeks where he struggled, says, okay, I got it now. 43 game on base streak, and he too worth every bit of the next big thing hype.
Yeah, the rate of success for these young players has been phenomenal. When you talk about how they're kind of programmed to get to this level, they're not wide-eyed and scared by the bright lights. They are contributing right away and at a high level.
Out of Bani, Dominican Republic, Wander Franco grew up around the game. 2 older brothers that became pros. His dad was a really good player. His uncles are former big leaguers, Eric and Willie Ibar. So that's some good teachers. That didn't mean that it was all smooth for him, though. First field for Wander Franco is a dried up riverbed near his home. First ball was a pair of socks that they'd wrap up in tape. First bat was a smoothed out tree branch. He just loved it as soon as he started playing. There goes Arozarena, and a foul ball. Dropped out of school when he was in 6th grade to put all his focus in baseball. Moved into an academy. Every single day he would practice all day, eat with a purpose, and so many times that's an issue in the Dominican Republic where guys don't have access to kind of food that they need. Getting into a baseball facility like that, while it seems drastic, it's also kind of a refuge for some guys where they can get the things they need. Good lead for Rosarena again. Time call.
And I wonder if he would have had that pitch over, if he would have taken it, knowing that his teammate pretty much was going to steal second. He got a real aggressive on a pitch up. Now the Rays, you would think, from an analytical standpoint, might not appreciate the opportunity to steal bases. They actually have been thrown out the most, but they will try to take that extra base and value what, especially in this case, 2-out hit can do if a man's standing at second.
He's got a huge lead. Not going. Ball. Got his 20th steal on the final day of the regular season, and the reaction was like he had just set the stolen base record as he got his 2020 season. He's also, like you mentioned, as a team, the Rays steal a lot of bases, but get caught a lot. Randy stole 20, but he was caught a major league high 10 times. On a 1-1 from Nick Pivetta. Wander Franco waits on it, swats it down the line. It's down. A base hit into the corner. Verdugo hustles over to get it in foul ground. Rosarena stops at third on a double from Franco, his second one tonight.
I want you to watch this stop sign, how emphatic this is with two outs. Sometimes the Rays and these guys will run through stop signs, and he had his intention to do it right here, and it was very, very emphatic to get back to the bag, almost so that you see the conversation right there.
Randy and Rodney Linares, third base coach. Alex Cora making a change. Pretty good stuff from Nick Pivetta to keep him in the game tonight.
Fitness Plus.
Here's that stop sign we were talking about. Rosarena was ready to run through a brick wall, but he threw on the brakes.
Yeah, this was right in front, and he had those hands up for a while. We just see it in the screen. He was probably screaming it.
Ball one.
Josh Taylor comes in here, lefty facing Brandon Lau, and big spot in this game. Boston still right there, 4-run game. Only 6 outs to work with. Base hit could put this one on ice. Josh Taylor on for Lau. Missed the final couple weeks with a lower back strain. It was a bit of a surprise addition to the wild card roster.
Now there is nobody close enough to keep a Rosarena close to the bag, so he can get off as far as he wants and create a little bit of havoc for Taylor because of the shift.
And even if he doesn't go, that bugs you.
Oh, man. Well, the lefty in this case has got his back to him, so a right-hander would be able to see that lead, but he can walk as far as he needs, as well as Devers is away from the bag.
Rule of thumb is you can go as far as the guy is away from the bag. He pretty much go halfway home. Look at him shuffling down there. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Now on the flip side, you don't want to mess up your teammate at the plate either, right? You don't want to create a guessing game of, is he going to come down and try to steal home? So at this point, it's a little bit of a moot point. You got to give your hitter a chance to get the hit.
Especially that being a left-handed hitter, you're right there in his peripheral vision. Can't get too froggy. Second and third, 2 gone. Rays up 4-0. Brandon Lau, who knocked in 99 during the regular season. 0 for 3 tonight. On a 1-2 from Josh Taylor. Pops it foul. We'll do it again.
Puts a lot of heat, though, on Vasquez to not let anything squirt away from him. Boy, this Red Sox bullpen did an amazing job after last year. Just not even a chance. They just were pitching staff decimated by a lot of things, and they had found the right combination in the second half. Had some guys hot, rode them.
There goes Rosarena. He steals home in October.
He timed it up. Watch how he times it. As soon as he goes to that, there was a timing mechanism that was taking place on every pitch that Taylor threw. See how he goes through a leg kick, and then it's just a little too late to try to make that move. What an incredible night for this guy. Oh, my.
Randy Arozarena set in October, on fire again. Wow, in the air to right. Up near the rings.
Can't find
it. They can't find it, and Arroyo does at the last moment. Wow. The Rays get a run. Arozarena steals home. This guy is incredible. And the Rays have a 5-0 lead in Game 1 of the division series. Human highlight film. Randy Arozarena. Christian Arroyo fouls off J.P. Fireeisen's first pitch of the 8th inning. And that is not just an incredible play to watch, but a big run. Making it so one swing can't tie the game. 5-0 now. Fifth run always good for a manager's heart rate, health. Arroyo serves one down the line. His second hit tonight. With a 5-run deficit, no use in trying to turn that into 2. Leadoff man aboard. We look back at the first steal of home in the postseason since Javi Baez in 2016 in the NLCS for the Cubs.
There was a process that he was taking information each time he led off, and each time he watched this set of mannerisms that Taylor took to throw a baseball. He decided not only to have the guts, but the speed. Hit a home run, stole home. What else can he do? Rob a home run?
I mean, Kike Hernandez now fouls it back. Rays fans and Arozarena are hoping that steals of home early on in the postseason lead to world championships like it did for Javi Baez in 16.
That's tough on Taylor. I mean, when you got a shift played that far over and you got no protection really at third base.
On the 0-1 fastball.
These are one of the fastballs here by this young man. Not overpowering. 93 miles an hour. Good slider and change.
Came over in the same deal that sent Willie Adames to Milwaukee.
Ball
Got
two.
their Game 3 starter, Drew Rasmussen. J.P. Fireeisen went to Division III Wisconsin Stevens Point to be a teacher and joined the baseball team mostly for fun. Put on 35 pounds in his first 2 years. His fastball jumped. Suddenly he's throwing low 90s. Scouts started coming, and now he's a big leaguer. His 2-1 to Kike Hernandez is lifted off the end of the bat into right field for Margot.
Want to stay up to date during the postseason? Hey Siri, show me postseason baseball scores.
Red Sox haven't been shut out in the postseason since 2016. Granted, they haven't been in the postseason the last couple of years, but Red Sox fans kind of seen this movie before where, yeah, it's a good offensive team. The numbers say they're one of the best offensive teams, but there have been stretches this year where they've been completely silent. There have been nights like this littered throughout the schedule. It's a strike on Schwarber.
Yeah, but to not put it totally on one guy does make a huge difference. JD Martinez. You talk about a lengthening lineup and just a professional hitter. If you're the Red Sox, you're hoping one more day of treatment. He's potentially available for a moment in this game where he could pinch hit and not necessarily have to use his legs, but maybe hit a homer.
So Alex Cora said, go ahead and homer and you can walk. Doesn't matter how swollen that ankle is.
Ball.
And if you're looking for a reason to feel optimistic, if you're the Red Sox at this stage, down 5-0 in game 1 of the short series, the guy you're facing tomorrow made his big league debut a few weeks ago. I know he's got great stuff, but you had 111 big league starts before you debuted in the postseason, and I imagine there were still all kinds of nerves. This guy's pitched in 3 games, and he's going to start game 2.
Yeah, that to me is still mind-boggling. You know, if I'm previewing tomorrow, I've watched some video and watched the young man throw. He's got great stuff. You would just worry early about RPMs, meaning revving the engines too much to throw 98, 99. Since he's gotten to the big leagues, they've actually encouraged him to throw a little bit firmer of a fastball. In minor leagues, didn't need it.
Ball 2.
It'll be interesting to watch. I mean, you got Chris Sale going on the other side, very veteran, been in the biggest of moments, and certainly that's the right guy for the Red Sox if you're going to be down 0-1 to have on the mound, and then steal a game, go home to that raucous crowd. I don't think they sat down in that New York game.
It was awesome. Just outside, full count.
It's been an incredible week in New England. You know, Tom Brady comes back to New England with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, defending champs, and then the Red Sox find a way to rally and get into the postseason, and now here they are facing Tampa Bay.
On a payoff, Schwarber hits it hard into right. Up to second goes Arroyo. Second hit of this inning, and on the night, Red Sox are actually out hitting the Rays 8-6. They show the game 5-0 because they've done nothing once they've gotten men on base. It's just their second hit in 15 at bats with men on base.
Yeah, and these were 2 of the best teams with power numbers with runners in scoring position. I believe 1 and 2 in that category of homers, and runners in scoring position in a whole. The team of the Red Sox was 4th best, so it's right in their DNA to scratch across some runs and put a crooked number on the board before some of the harder thrower Rays come in the game. Fairbanks, one of them.
Yeah, Kevin Cash has been able to stay away from the bigger, higher leverage pieces. They're not going to mess around here, getting one of them going with 2 on and 1 out. Part of the order, Bogarts, strike 1. And again, we've been talking about JD Martinez, the right situation. You could see him. Bogarts 1 for 3 in this game. It's a struggle late in the regular season form. A huge game on Tuesday in the wild card game. Just one of the best players out there. 3-time All-Star. Hits it way up there. Shallow center field. Kiermaier palms up, can't find it, and it falls. Boston catches a massive break. The bases are loaded. Wow.
I'm telling you, it's been hard tonight. I mean, if you don't pick up the ball right away and you're trying to look, if you don't pick up that ball and stare at it, it gets caught in that ceiling. And we've had about 4 now that have been caught. But you're talking about one of the best center fielders in the game who plays here all the time.
That's the shocking part.
It is a tough, I mean, just, you know, the years I was here shagging, you take your eye off it for 1 second, you can't pick it back up. it disappears into the ceiling.
Well, there's certain times a day in outdoor ballparks where it's tough. Here, you're always looking up at a vaguely ball-colored sky.
Nothing harder than the Metrodome back in the day with, they called it the baggy, you know, the white kind of texture that they use there. This one's not white, it's kind of an off-colored white. But you have to see it off the bat, and then you don't leave your eyes off of it. If you don't see it right away off the bat, then you're in that no man's land where you're like, where is it? I can't pick it up. There's too much to look at. And that's why no outfielder can find themselves in this building just standing still, because you never know if one of your outfielders can't find it, and the corner outfielders have to be on a kind of mission to help out.
Well, here we go, John. This is the guy they want up there, Rafael Devers, who loves the big spot. Bases loaded in the 8th, and he swings and misses at a first pitch fastball. Saved the Red Sox down the stretch, hitting .364 over the final 2 weeks. 4 for 5 with 2 home runs on the final day.
Awfully big swing there, trying to get within 1 run. He's probably having that little conversation in his mind. So slow it down, breathing.
If you don't watch the Red Sox, you may be saying, did he hurt himself on that swing? This is every pitch.
Yes, every pitch. Sometimes he does it in English, sometimes he does it in Spanish. The manager will let us know.
On an 0-1 from J.P. Fireisen. Rafael Devers keeps it up. 16 postseason games in his still young career. He's knocked in 14 runs. Hit an inside the park home run as a rookie at Fenway Park in the postseason. 38 home runs this year, career high form. Home run here would change the day. On a 1-1 pitch, Devers had one to hammer, and a few times tonight that hand has come off of the bat awkwardly in the swing.
Yeah, he has looked awkward, and if you're tuning in, you'd think maybe there is something wrong, but he's trying to get the barrel of the bat to it and coming up a little bit awkward. The fastballs that I mentioned earlier in the game, that he was getting pounded with fastballs, and they were beating him in the middle part of the season. He's made some adjustments, but he's been killing off-speed pitches, and you can see that they're staying firm in this at-bat.
Kenny adjusts. Bases loaded, 1 gone. 1-2 pitch. Got him with a high fastball. And the same awkward looking finish to the swing as Devers goes down on strikes for the 2nd time tonight.
No need to adjust a game plan. That's not 98-99, by the way. That's just well placed. Good backspin, 4-seam fastball. And again, you see the awkward hand that comes off the barrel of the bat, and it's not the one you would think. It's the bottom hand.
That's not the picture you get when you look up one-handed finish. Fireisen not out of the woods yet. A 38 home run hitter to a 31 home run hitter. Renfroe.
It's inside.
1 ball, no strikes. Red Sox have just 1 hit with a runner in scoring position tonight. It was that gift of a base hit on the pop-up to load the bases here. Renfroe, who was cut loose by the Rays after his worst year last year. On a 1-0 pitch. Had one to hit and popped it up. Right side of the infield, Yandy Diaz. The Rays are out of the bases loaded jam. I lifted the game. Randy Arozarena. You can make a full highlight film of the stuff he's done. There's those push-ups that made him strong during quarantine last year. He's stolen home and is the first player in postseason history to hit a home run and steal home in the same game. You wondered how he would follow up the record-setting postseason as a rookie. Well, he's still a rookie, but pretty darn good follow-up performance in his first game. So Adam Ottavino comes on to pitch.
Famous commercial. Must be the shoes. It must be the popcorn.
Something over there.
Because he's been chilling a bag of popcorn most of the game.
Nelson Cruz with a soft bouncing ball to second for Christian Arroyo. I'll predict which players will stack the most total bases each day during the postseason. Compete to win $20 grand at their MLB Base Chase, presented by Michelob Ultra at MLB.com/Base Chase. The official rules for details. So we saw Randy eating the popcorn. I think we saw Nelson Cruz eating the popcorn as well. He's got a bomb. Eat popcorn. Homer. Yandy Diaz. And Lau saying, okay, let's see. Eat popcorn. Homer. Give me some of that popcorn. Struck the short. Bogarts. 2 up and 2 down.
Now that's like a broadcaster no-no, right? Popcorn,
yeah, you get that stuff stuck in your throat.
You're done.
Yeah.
I remember before my first Open that I ever did, I did have some popcorn. I'm like, well, this is a really bad idea. And I started getting dry mouth. There's no cough button for that.
No. Gonna get you a popcorn button. That's just the eject button. 2 gone, Joey Wendell. Well, for the Red Sox in the 9th inning, Verdugo, Dahlbeck, and Vasquez. J.D. Martinez is available, but don't figure that he'll use him just to use him. Red Sox really needed something there. That bases loaded chance.
Ball 1.
They're turned away. 8 scoreless innings by Tampa Bay. First 5 from Shane McClanahan, 3 from the bullpen. And you wonder and you hope that Rafael Devers is okay, because he just hasn't looked right. And there's always a lot of stuff going on at the plate, but
Ball 2.
Just doesn't quite look himself on those swings.
But tomorrow, he better get ready for 98. That's what this young man's going to be bringing.
Wendell drives the ball to the gap in left center field. Verdugo back to get it. And then to 1-2-3/8 inning for Adam Ottavino. To the 9th we go in game 1. All Tampa Bay so far tonight. Get your game on at MLBshop.com. Authentic on-field caps, tees, hoodies, and more. Get all your postseason gear and wear what the champs wear at the official source, MLBshop.com. On to the 9th inning. In St. Pete, Alex Verdugo leads it off for the Red Sox, who are out hitting the Rays 9-6, but trailing 5-0. J.P. Feyereisen, who's able to get out of the 8th inning out of a bases loaded situation, stays in there for the 9th and delivers strike 1.
And like you said, I mean, it's a perfect game plan if you're Kevin Cash. You got through this game with your young starter without really having to take him out early, and you hadn't had to show the Red Sox all your weapons early on.
We get 5 innings from Shane McClanahan. We got another rookie going tomorrow. No balls, 2 strikes on Verdugo. After the 5 from McClanahan tonight, Jaguar with a scoreless 6. Robertson a perfect 7. Feyereisen trying to pitch the last 2 innings. They're the #1 pitching staff in the American League this season, and run prevention has been their headline in recent years as they've been so good. The last time they had a shutout in the postseason, 2013, in the wild card game against Cleveland. What's amazing is it's the same story with the dominant pitching, but it's all new dudes.
That's what's amazing. I mean,
10 of the 13, John, on this roster, they weren't on the World Series roster last year.
But I can understand making changes in the bullpen. It's the starting staff that blows me away.
Strikeout with a changeup, one gone. The matchup tomorrow. One veteran, one kid. Chris Sale, who's been solid since returning from Tommy John surgery. Shane Baz, who's made 3 outings in the big leagues.
It's just so hard to explain what that would be like, but one thing the Rays have always done a good job of, the guys they bring up, going all the way back to the David Price.
Dahlbeck pops it up.
They're ready when they get here.
Yeah. Zunino puts it away, 2 gone.
And they would never put these young men in the situation that you're talking about if they didn't feel like they were ready. Seriously, you're talking about a team that wins 100 games, and you've got 2 rookies starting arguably the playoff run, your most important series, to keep going. It's a credit to them and to the organization for having faith in them, putting them in that spot.
It's the second time in big league history that rookies have started games 1 and game 2.
First time that they've both been named Shane.
That is true. Jared Parker and Tommy Malone for the Oakland A's in 2012 both started first couple games against the Tigers. Both pitched well, but lost. Strike 1 on Christian Vasquez. And don't forget, you got a rookie, a converted reliever, going in game 3, and Drew Rasmussen. From Snell, Morton, Glasnow to 3 rookies. Different guys, similar results. Quickly 0-2.
I really think the theme of this series is going to be the first 3 innings. And I don't know if it'll play out every game, that team that jumps out in front in the first 3 innings, but there's so much different strategy if you've got the lead for both managers and how they utilize their pen. And, you know, Rays got off to an early start and created some room for those rookies. You put some heat on them and get down, just see what, you know, tomorrow brings for the Red Sox if they can get off to a better start.
The Rays today, first 2 batters of the game reached, both came into scores. 2-0 just like that. Another 0-2 pitch. Ball. They added 1 in the 3rd on the home run from Nelson Cruz. And it was 3-0 after 3. 1 in the 5th, 1 in the 7th. A bunch of zeros.
If you're wondering if there was nerves out of Shane McClanahan, he struck out the side in the first inning, so that answered that.
1-2 from J.P. Fireisen. Fly ball right field. Margot over the foul line, and a shutout win in game 1 for Tampa Bay. It was the equation all regular season long. Dominant pitching and flair from some of the young guys. At the top of the order, Arozarena and Franco leading the charge for a 5-0 win as the Red Sox get shut out in the postseason for the first time in 5 years. The Rays, even with all the fantastic pitching they've had in these recent postseason runs, their first shutout pitched in 8 years.
Yeah, I mean, the Rays know someone's going to have to upset the apple cart and beat them at home, because if they take care of business at home, that's what that 100-win season did for them, at least on the way to the World Series. But they got some magic at home, and they're a confident bunch.
Chris Sale will try to get the Red Sox even tomorrow. Shane Baz, another rookie, goes for the Tampa Bay Rays. Right now we get you to Kevin Burkhardt and the guys in Los Angeles. Plenty of postseason coverage.